I showed you how to do very rudimentary collision detection on a rectangle. So you could use that, say, to make a button, for instance, in which case the rect uses 5 parameters. There's an optional radius parameter. So if I add, say, 4 there, or even more, let's make it 8, and restart. You get this rounding around the edges, and this value tells you by how much to round it. Let me make it 20, and restart. See? So it's kind of squarish, but more round around the edges, you know. So that kind of just makes it look a little more ergonomic. Yeah, very nice. If you want to make a button. Okay, so I'm just going to lose this, go back to where we were. And of course, if that's the rectangle function, right? If I wanted to make a square, how would I do that? A square is just a rectangle whose width and height are the same. There, so now I've made a square. Okay, let me undo that. Undo. There we go. Earlier I mentioned how to redo. Let's say I've undid something and I want to go back to what I just undid. Instead of Control Z, you go Control Shift Z, and it will redo something. So you can go back and forth in your history too. Very nice. So undo. There, I'm back at 60 with restart. Okay, so what I want to do now, instead of just doing a simple collision with my X and Y position here, I want to do collision between 2 rectangular objects. Okay, so to save time, I'm just going to grab all of this code here real quick, and I'm going to convert all of this to player coordinates, like that. See, player, let me just grab player here, and then paste it right over rect, rect, rect. Okay, there we go. So and here is another rectangle. Let's draw our player. Let's see, I like the player to be on top, so I will draw him last. There. Okay, so now just pencil in all these here. New variable names. Paste Y. Player width here. Paste. Player height. And copy and paste. Okay, so now they're still identical, haven't changed anything. So down here in the draw function, I can update my player X, and I'm just going to keep player X this time. My player X variable, instead of using my mouse X directly, I'm going to write it into the variable. There. Now, what's going on here? I'm leaving trails. Why? Take a guess. Take a guess. I have to add a background. Okay. And okay, my cursor is still inside there, so I can just type 255, and I get a white background. Awesome. It's only moving in X. Let's take care of the Y value as well here. There we go. Player Y equals mouse Y, and now this goes wherever the mouse goes. Okay, and what's going on here? Oh, we're only testing for what? The tip of the mouse. So only when that's inside. Okay, just because I've drawn a box doesn't, mean that it's self-aware, right? Okay, so next we want to check if this whole box collides with this box over here. Yes. So we know here we're seeing, okay, this is no longer mouse X. It will be player X. Here, mouse X. And here it'll be mouse Y. There. I mean, player Y. Okay, so same effect. All right, see. Now, we want to check if the right side of this one touches the left side of this one over here. Okay, well, we know where the left side is. It's rect X. Okay. The right side of this is player X plus the player width, right? So there we go. Let me grab width, copy that. Player X plus player width. There. and something kind of happened. Now we want to check there. Player X is greater than player width. We want to check if this side touches that side, which is what? Just plain old player X. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to, after this and, I'm going to add an extra return. And then after this and, I'm going to add an extra return. There. And tab that in so it's all nice and lined up. Okay. And might as well tab that in. There. Okay. Mouse X. I want to check this side now. This is player X is less than, and here I have mouse X, so I'm just going to say player X is less than this side. There we go. Okay. So now, same thing going on down here. We're going to check the Y. We want to see, we know the top of this is rect Y. Okay, and the bottom of my player box is my player X plus its height. Okay, so here we go. Player, I'm sorry, not player X, player Y plus the player height, which I can control drag right there. There, I just copied it over there. Okay, and same thing down here. Player, this should be player Y, not mouse Y by now. We're checking the bottom, which is if the player Y is less than rect Y and plus rect height. There. So all I had to do was fix that, and now I have rectangular collision. Of course, it's changing both of them. Why? Because I only have specified to broadly change the colors and not to individually change the color of just the player. You know. So let's say if I did put this if statement right here. There. So now the if statement will affect this box here, and let's say I want it to not affect, I'm going to grab this red fill here. I don't want it to affect my player, and I'll make the player even a different color. Let's say kind of orangish. Okay, so there we go. If the player is inside that box. Let me change my player size here, and I'll just say my player is a square. There. See? So this is edit. Not, it is rectangular collision, but we'll say collision between two rectangles. Save that. Save or spin off, depending on whether you continued using the previous saved code, as collision between two rectangles.